In the early 1980s, the quaint town of Millwood seemed like any other small American town. Life moved at a slower pace, and the townsfolk relished the simplicity that their community offered. It was a place where everyone knew each other, and secrets were few and far between. But one secret remained locked away in the mind of a reclusive young woman named Emily, who worked at the local record store. Emily had always been fascinated by music, particularly songs that held hidden meanings and cryptic messages. Her obsession with unraveling these mysteries often led her down strange and unsettling paths. In 1983, when the Eurythmics released their hit single Sweet Dreams Are Made of This, Emily found herself drawn to the song's haunting melody and enigmatic lyrics. She played it on repeat in the store, losing herself in its hypnotic rhythm. One evening, as Emily closed up the shop, an elderly man named Mr. Henderson wandered in. He was a regular at the store, known for his vast knowledge of music history and urban legends. His presence was always accompanied by an air of mystery, and tonight was no different. "Evening, Emily," Mr. Henderson greeted her with a nod, his eyes glinting with intrigue. "I see you've been playing that Eurythmics song quite a lot lately." Emily smiled, nodding. "I can't get enough of it. There's something about it that feels otherworldly. Like it's hiding something." Mr. Henderson leaned against the counter, his expression serious. "Have you heard the urban legend about that song?" Emily's curiosity piqued. "No, what is it?" The old man took a deep breath, his gaze distant as if recalling a long-forgotten memory. "They say Sweet Dreams is about the Zodiac Killer." Emily felt a chill run down her spine. The Zodiac Killer was a notorious figure, his identity never discovered, and his crimes had haunted the nation for decades. "What do you mean?" "Think about it," Mr. Henderson continued, his voice low. "The lyrics talk about someone who's in control, someone who finds pleasure in causing pain. Sweet dreams are made of this, who am I to disagree? It's as if the singer is channeling the killer's desires, his twisted urges." Emily frowned, processing the idea. It seemed far-fetched, yet there was something unnerving about the connection. "Do you really think that's true?" Mr. Henderson shrugged. "It's just a legend, of course. But some legends have a way of touching on the truth in ways we don't fully understand." That night, Emily couldn't shake the conversation from her mind. She went home and played the song again, this time listening more intently to the lyrics. The more she listened, the more the words seemed to take on a darker meaning. She began to research the Zodiac Killer, poring over old newspaper clippings and crime reports. The more she learned, the more convinced she became that there was a connection. Days turned into weeks, and Emily's obsession grew. She began to notice strange occurrences around town, whispers in the wind, shadows moving in the corners of her vision. It was as if the very essence of the song had seeped into her reality, distorting it. She started to receive anonymous letters, each one containing cryptic messages and references to the Zodiac Killer's unsolved crimes. One evening, as she walked home from the store, Emily felt a presence behind her. She quickened her pace, her heart pounding. The footsteps behind her matched her speed, closing in. She glanced over her shoulder and saw a figure in the shadows, wearing a dark hood. "Who are you?" she called out, her voice trembling. The figure didn't respond. Instead, it stepped into the light, revealing a twisted smile beneath the hood. Emily turned and ran, her breath coming in ragged gasps. She could hear the figure pursuing her, the sound of footsteps echoing in the night. She reached her house and slammed the door shut, locking it behind her. Her hands shook as she dialed the police, but when they arrived, the figure was gone. They searched the area but found no evidence of anyone following her. The letters continued, growing more threatening with each one. Emily's fear turned to paranoia. She saw the hooded figure everywhere, in the reflection of store windows, in the darkness of alleyways. She confided in Mr. Henderson, but even he seemed powerless to help her. "Perhaps you've uncovered something you weren't meant to find," he suggested one day, his voice filled with concern. "Sometimes, the truth is best left buried." Emily refused to give up. She was determined to uncover the connection between the song and the Zodiac Killer, convinced that solving the mystery would bring her peace. She spent hours each night going over her research, her eyes red and tired from lack of sleep. One night, as she listened to Sweet Dreams for what felt like the 100th time, she noticed something she hadn't before, a faint whisper beneath the melody, almost inaudible. She played the song back, isolating the sound. The whisper grew clearer, forming words that sent a shiver down her spine. "Find me." Emily's blood ran cold. The voice was taunting her, drawing her deeper into the darkness. She knew she had to confront it, to face whatever lurked behind the legend. Gathering her courage, she decided to visit the places where the Zodiac Killer's crimes had taken place, hoping to find answers. She traveled to California, tracing the steps of the infamous killer. Each location felt heavy with history, the air thick with the memories of his victims. At each site, she played the song, hoping for a revelation. But it wasn't until she visited the final location, a secluded spot in the woods, that she felt the presence again. The air grew cold, and the shadows deepened. Emily stood in the center of the clearing, her heart racing. She played the song one last time, the haunting melody filling the night. The whisper returned, louder and more insistent. "Find me." Suddenly, the figure in the hood appeared, stepping out of the shadows. Emily's breath caught in her throat as the figure approached, its twisted smile visible beneath the hood. "You've been looking for me," the figure said, its voice a chilling echo of the whisper. Emily stood her ground, her fear replaced by determination. "Who are you?" The figure laughed, a sound that sent chills down her spine. "I am the one you seek. The one who haunts your dreams." The realization hit her like a punch to the gut. The legend was true, the song had somehow channeled the spirit of the Zodiac Killer, drawing him to her. She had become his latest obsession, his newest victim. "Why me?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Because you were curious," the figure replied. "And curiosity is a dangerous thing." Emily knew she had to escape, but the figure blocked her path. She backed away, her mind racing. The only way to break the connection was to destroy the song, to sever the link between them. She reached for her phone, but the figure lunged at her, knocking it from her hand. A struggle ensued, and Emily fought with all her strength. She managed to grab a rock and struck the figure, causing it to stagger. She seized the opportunity and ran, her legs carrying her as fast as they could. She reached her car and drove away, leaving the figure behind. The next morning, Emily returned to Montauk, shaken but determined. She went straight to the record store and smashed the vinyl record of Sweet Dreams, hoping to end the nightmare once and for all. But the legend of the song lived on, and whispers of its dark origins continued to circulate. Emily never spoke of her encounter, but the fear lingered, a constant reminder of the danger that curiosity could bring. And somewhere, in the shadows, the figure watched, waiting for its next victim. The haunting melody of Sweet Dreams played softly in the distance, a chilling reminder of the legend that refused to die.